So we just talked about Steve Bannon and how all the criticism he's getting about his choice of Steve Bannon. And everybody, a lot of people call him racist and all those other things. All the ists and the odes and phobes you can come up with. But while everybody criticizes Trump's pick of chief strategist, I think it's also fair to see what the other party is doing in choosing its leaders. So with the ouster of former DNC chairwoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz earlier this year, and if you remember, that was all because WikiLeaks released emails that proved that Schultz and the DNC were actively helping the Clinton campaign and trying to hurt Bernie Sanders in the primary. The DNC replaced her with Donna Brazile, and she's a temporary person. But Brazile was just as much as a cheater as Schultz, as it was revealed in another WikiLeaks release that Brazile, who was working for CNN at the time, was feeding Clinton debate questions beforehand in her debates with Bernie Sanders. So one cheater, and replace it with another cheater. So Democratic leaders are scrambling again to unite behind a candidate for the party's chairmanship. And who is the leading candidate, you may ask? Well, it's a Muslim representative from Minnesota who has been linked to Louis Farrakhan and once called for Dick Cheney's impeachment and compared George W. Bush to Hitler. And it just keeps getting better for them. This is a great guy right here. So first you have the cheaters, and then they're going to replace him with this guy. And his name is Representative Keith Ellison. He's from Minnesota. He was the first Muslim elected to Congress, and he is a leading progressive among House Democrats. And this is not like he's some fringe candidate for the chair, as he has support from the backing of both the Democratic Party's left, with support from the likes of Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, and he has support from its establishment, receiving endorsements from Senate leaders Chuck Schumer of New York and retiring Harry Reid of Nevada. So Ellison is firmly on the party's left. In fact, he has a fax line in his office, but his website says they will not respond to faxes for, quote, environmental reasons. He backed Bernie Sanders during the primaries, introducing him at the convention. So I think this is a lot of them trying to say they're sorry for cheating with Bernie Sanders, so they're going to look at a Bernie supporter, and I guess they found this guy. He has to possibly be the worst, really, he has to be the worst Bernie supporter they could have found. So Sanders has been giving strong backing to Ellison, sending out fundraising emails saying an Ellison-backed Democratic Party will stand up to Wall Street greed and corporate America, and is a Democratic Party we need. I don't see how he's the Democratic Party we need when he actually has ties to Louis Farrakhan. So Ellison formally announced his candidacy today. He said in a statement, quote, "I am proud to announce my candidacy for the chair of the Democratic National Committee, and if given the opportunity to serve, I will work tirelessly to make the Democratic Party an organization that brings us together and advances an agenda that improves people's lives." And today he also rolled out a couple of additional endorsements from prominent Democrats, including Senators Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota and Chris Murphy of Connecticut, who are both supporters of Hillary Clinton. Hawaii Party Chairman Tim Vanderveer and former Minneapolis Mayor R.T. Ryback have also supported him. But at a time when Democrats are all about inclusiveness and love, we must look at Ellison's past associations here, especially since they're attacking Bannon. So Ellison's 2006 run for his seat was plunged into controversy after PowerlineBlog.com found he had once identified with Farrakhan's Nation of Islam, and in 1998 was referring to himself as Keith X. Ellison and Keith Ellison Muhammad. I'm not making this up, guys. This is the real guy. This is the leading candidate right now for the DNC chair. The Washington Post reported that Ellison had defended Farrakhan against accusation of anti-Semitism in 1989 and 1990, and he had called affirmative action a sneaky form of compensation for slavery, calling instead for reparations. So when the controversy erupted in 2006, Ellison acknowledged that he had worked with the group for 18 months to help organize Farrakhan's 1995 Million Man March. He tried to distance himself from both Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam, and said that he had not scrutinized the group's anti-Semitic positions appropriately, but of course he says this after we get all this scrutiny against him. He was actively backing Farrakhan while he was making all these anti-Semitic and anti-white statements. Now, in case you've never heard of Farrakhan before, I have a sampling here for you of a statement he made around the same time that Ellison was involved with Farrakhan. So I'm going to play that for you here, that white people and Jews are the devil. Yet Bannon, he's anti-Semite, yet he's never made any kind of statements any close to that. And they like to say, we can't follow the Republican Party because they're anti-Semitic, yet they want to put a guy as the head of the DNC who followed this fool right here. And the same beliefs that he had, because he was actively following it. Only afterwards they say, oh, I should have condemned it more when I had the time, but I didn't do it. Yeah, you didn't do it because you believe in it. He's still in the Nation of Islam and all that stuff. And that's what they believe in. You can't get it any more anti-Semite than the Nation of Islam. Yet these people want to put this guy as the head of the DNC, and he's a member of it. And I mean, just how ridiculous that is. Yet they want to call the Republican Party anti-Semite. Yet they're going to put an active anti-Semite right on the board, or as chair of their party, the leader of their party. They're going to put somebody who's anti-Semitic, a person who doesn't believe in keeping Israel, who believes in the destruction of Israel, those kind of things. That's what the people of Islam believe in, and that's who they want to lead the DNC. But hey, love trumps hate, right? I mean, that's what you're supposed to believe. I mean, it's like the Democratic Party learned nothing from this election. People are tired of our pandering, especially to Muslims who want to destroy this country. Yet you still want to put somebody who supports this person. I mean, it's ridiculous to me. And we got a call coming in here. You know the full story. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. With this Case Ellison,
yeah.
The Democratic Party will ruin itself with him.
And that's, I'm saying exactly. I mean, it's like they've learned nothing from this election. I mean, it's crazy. You know?
And Bill Clinton even said to Hillary and the Democratic Party, look, we've got to reach out to the people in Middle America.
Mm-hmm. Yet like this guy has the most support, and it looks like he's probably going to get elected. Like I said, he has all these support from all these people. Yet he's got to be the most hatred. Most guy with hatred in his heart. It doesn't get any worse than this guy. Yet, like I said, but you don't hear anybody reporting on this. You don't see these people going to the streets trying to protest this guy when this guy's an active guy, an active person who hates Jews. Yet they say nothing about it. Yet they're all about on Bannon. You know, it's ridiculous to me.
Yeah, the Democratic Party wants somebody in charge of it that actually has a positive track record. They would go after Cory Booker from Newark, New Jersey. He was mayor of Newark. Look at his record. Look what he did for Newark, New Jersey. And look what he's done for New Jersey in a positive way, an inclusive way.
Yeah.
If the Democratic Party wants to move forward and embrace everybody, they'd be smart to pick somebody like him.
Right, but it's obvious, like I said, they obviously don't care about that because they know they don't have to, because they know the media's going to be on their side. They're going to attack Trump instead and say Trump's not inclusive. They know no matter what they do, the media is always going to say they're inclusive, and all the celebrities are going to say they're inclusive. So they figure, hey, why do we even have to do that? Because we always got that support. Nobody's going to believe that we're not. But thank you for your call, sir.
Yes, sir. Have a good night.
You too. Yet, this is not, so the Louis Farrakhan Nation of Islam, that's one thing for this guy. But it's not the only controversy he has had. So in 2007, Ellison made a comparison between Bush and 9/11 to Hitler and the 1993 Reichstag fire. He said 9/11 is a juggernaut in American history, and it's almost like, the Reichstag fire. After the Reichstag was burned, they blamed the communists for it, and it put the leader of the country, Hitler, in a position where he could basically have authority to do whatever he wanted. So what he's saying is, pretty much, he's saying that President Bush created the 9/11. He's the one who threw the planes in the building so he could have more power. This is what that guy said, what he's alluding to. Now, of course, after a lot of backlash, he later clarified that he indeed believed that Osama bin Laden was responsible. But, like I said, that was the only time he did it. Just like the Nation of Islam thing. He's fully for it, and so he gets all this back. Oh, I wasn't really for it. I mean, let me clarify. I didn't really mean that. Well, you have to mean it. You have to mean that you thought that President Bush was Hitler and caused the September 11th attacks. You have to believe that, we have to believe that you hate Jews because you were actively doing these things. If you didn't believe them, you wouldn't have been doing them at the time. So it's crazy.